The New Dawn. A majestic sunrise opens the film as animals gather at Pride Rock for a celebration. Kiera and Kovu, now rulers of the Pride Lands, introduce their newborn cub, Prince Azadi, symbolizing the next chapter of the Circle of Life. Rafiki blesses the child while the herd roars in harmony. Azadi's birth is met with joy and hope for a lasting peace between former Outlanders and Pridelanders. Echoes of the past. That night, Rafiki meditates and is visited by the spirit of Mufasa, who warns of an approaching disturbance. He speaks cryptically. A forgotten roar seeks to rewrite the circle. Rafiki realizes that peace may not last forever. Thunder rumbles in the distance, a foreshadowing of darker times. The gathering clouds. Drought grips part of the eastern plains, where once lush lands are dying. Reports come in of animals migrating strangely. Vitani, leader of the Lion Guard, is sent to investigate. Kovu senses unease but believes in the strength of the alliances they've built. Kiera, ever more intuitive, feels something older and deeper stirs beneath the surface. Azadi's curiosity. Now a curious cub, Azadi sneaks away from the Pride Lands with his best friends, Kali, a lightning-fast cheetah cub, and Nuru, a brainy young baboon. Their mischievous exploration leads them to a forgotten canyon where ruins of a long-lost lion kingdom lie buried beneath vines and ash. The Forbidden Lands. The trio meets Zarno, a regal but rough-looking lion with a faint scar. He introduces himself as the last heir of the Sunless Pride, banished generations ago. He captivates Azadi with tales of injustice, challenging the idea of the circle of life as just. Though his tone is calm, there's something menacing behind his words. The legacy questioned. Azadi returns, changed. He questions why some animals, like rogues or predators, are considered threats while others are elevated. He begins secretly visiting Zarno, whose cunning teachings manipulate Azadi's desire to be a fairer king. He hides this from his family and begins doubting his future role. Shadows rise. Zarno travels to the desolate outskirts and begins rallying outcasts, hyenas, jackals, disgraced lions, and scavengers, under the banner of the Broken Fawn, a faction against the Circle of Life. He promises them freedom and revenge for years of exclusion, stirring rage with twisted tales of Scar and Zira. Simba's Wisdom. Old and reflective, Simba observes Azadi's inner struggle. He shares stories of Scar's greed, Mufasa's sacrifice, and the lessons he learned as king. He warns Azadi, a true king listens, not just to others but to himself. But Azadi is torn between legacy and his own vision of fairness. The Lion Guard divided. Vitani's guard encounters Zarno's scouts and suffers an ambush. One of her lions, Tmu, is gravely wounded. Vitani grows suspicious of Azadi's behavior. Tension brews between the royals and the Lion Guard as the threat becomes more real and personal. The Rift. Azadi confesses his sympathy for Zarno's message. Kovu reacts with fury, warning him never to return to the Forbidden Lands. Feeling misunderstood and rejected, Azadi runs away, hoping to find his own truth away from the expectations of royalty. Kiera is heartbroken. The rise of the Broken Fawn. Zarno seizes this moment to declare war. With Azadi gone and the Pride divided, he leads his growing army across the plains, conquering small territories and corrupting peacekeepers. His belief, the Circle of Life is a lie, and survival belongs to the strong. The ancestors speak. Rafiki summons the ancestral spirits. The clouds swirl with the voices of the past. Mufasa, Nala, Sarabi, even Scar's repentant shadow. They agree, only by restoring balance, not enforcing rule, can the circle be mended. Kiera and Kovu begin preparing for war, but with hope of peace still alive. Azadi's vision quest. In exile, Azadi meets a mysterious lioness shaman named Tawari, who guides him through a spiritual journey. He sees visions of Mufasa, Scar, and himself as both king and tyrant. He realizes Zarno's path leads to destruction, but also that the circle must evolve to include all beings. Redemption and return. Humbled, Azadi returns home. He kneels before Kovu and Kiera, asking forgiveness. Though angry, Kovu sees the sincerity in his son's eyes. Simba places his paw on Azadi's shoulder, uttering his final words to him. You are ready. The circle prepares for a battle, but not of conquest, but protection. The battle for the circle. A massive storm brews as the broken fawn approaches Pride Rock. In a thunderous showdown, lions, elephants, rhinos, and hyenas clash. Azadi leads a youth brigade and saves Vitani's guard from a trap, earning their trust. Kovu versus Zarno. On the battlefield, Kovu and Zarno engage in a fierce one-on-one. Zarno reveals he was once trained by Zira and believes only the strongest should rule. Kovu overpowers him, but refuses to kill, choosing compassion over bloodshed. Zarno is defeated, not by force, but by mercy. The circle renewed. Zarno and his followers are exiled again, but not hunted. Azadi proposes a new outpost, where even outcasts may live under circle law, if they follow it. The animals begin to accept that the circle of life must adapt, not remain frozen in tradition. Simba's Farewell. Simba passes away under the stars, peacefully surrounded by loved ones. As his spirit joins the great kings of the past, the sky shines brighter. Azadi mourns, but also feels the strength of generations within him. Azadi's Coronation. The pride gathers for Azadi's coronation. Rafiki lifts his paw in the same place where Mufasa and Simba once stood. As Azadi roars from Pride Rock, animals respond with thunderous pride. Azadi pledges to rule with heart, inclusion, and courage. The circle continues. The story closes as Azadi and Kali welcome their firstborn cub. Rafiki raises the new heir while the sun rises behind them. The circle of life continues, not as a cycle of repetition, but of learning, growing, and legacy.